Now, y'all know I told y'all about MVP and Chris Jericho almost getting into some fisticuffs in May on the 18th when AEW Dynamite was supposed to be in Houston. But I got some more deets. Excuse me, y'all. And I can tell y'all what happened. But see, the details still are a little foggy because no side wants to confirm nor deny that they almost came to blows. The only thing that has been confirmed is that Chris Jericho is a bitch ass nigga and really ain't about that life because he knew MVP could tag that ass. That's all. But he did say something to antagonize MVP, to which MVP did not react the way that it was alleged in the rumor. Okay, so let me clear some things up. Chris Jericho and MVP are no longer friends. That is fully confirmed. And what I said in my last video about it being about the political shit that had went down in 2020 is accurate. That is the reason why they fell out. They fell out over their differences in terms of how the government should be run, who should be running it, and the rhetoric of said President Orange, Agent Orange, Cheeto Dust, you know, KFC gravy guzzling bitch. But I digress. That's why they fell out. It was over that. However, they did talk after those events went down and things did not get resolved. It got worse. So it had to be compounding. It was the situation with the political views and the Twitter beef, and then that spilled over into some real life shit where both of them just, basically fell out with each other. All right. Now, what had happened was, to clear up some of the things that was said in the last video, AEW did have a show in Houston, and MVP was at the hotel that the superstars was staying at to visit some old friends, because all of the wrestlers run in the same circles. They all know each other. It's not that hard. Once you get to a certain level on the indie circuit and really in the wrestling business period, you start to learn and see other people and you get to know other people. It's very similar to being a basketball player or a football player. Everybody know everybody. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's a small world, if that makes sense. All right, cool. So MVP was there to visit and talk to some of them people. Now, they say that MVP was trying to have a conversation with Chris Jericho about it, but he wasn't having it. Now they say it didn't go as far as it was reported in the rumor. Is they saying it didn't go that far. According to MVP, when he was asked about the confrontation, he said there was an exchange, but it didn't go down like that. And there are two sides to every story, and with the truth is usually in the middle somewhere. He did establish that they were former friends and they are no longer friends. He did establish that. All right, so that was what MVP has said. Now, when Fightful went and reached out to Chris Jericho, he was being the petty bitch that he was always bred to be. The motherfucker basically said, nothing else to say. I don't fight jobbers. Enough said. That's pretty much what he said. Continuing to dig at MVP as if he's a jobber. Not to mention, MVP's not the one getting his hair chopped off on national TV or being thrown into vats of mimosas and selling ass water, being, passed off as quality champagne. But, I digress. I'm going to always hold your feet to the fire, SpongeBob. Because, see, you wrong. You wrong, and you dead ass wrong is the only way I can explain it. Now, another source came up with this little scenario that I'm finna tell y'all, which makes this whole situation even more messy. Okay, which leads me to another point that I'm gonna bring up in just a minute, and I'll do it in my live in a second. Now, from what this source say, the source say that somebody from AEW called WWE Talent Relations John Laurinaitis about the issue. Now, Fightful said they can't confirm or deny, but the source also indicated that he didn't seem to care when he learned about the situation and it ended without incident. Okay, so essentially, what's being alleged, and what I have to say is alleged, is that somebody called John Laurinaitis to pretty much snitch on MVP about his behavior towards Chris Jericho. I'm not sure if this is true, but one of two things could be true. This scenario could be true enough, right? But it also could mean that Jericho is the one who tried to knock out MVP, which he thought would probably get him fired because WWE does have a behavior policy. Or it was somebody who, is very protective of Jericho, who is within AEW, and decided to call talent relations to pretty much narc out MVP to see if that's going to get him reprimanded or fired. Child, this whole thing is messy as hell. I don't know how this was going to play out. But baby, if you asking me if I think that Jericho called John Laurinaitis and was like, hey, your talent down here wilding, you need to come do something about him. He is being very disrespectful and belligerent, was attacking me. You motherfucking right. I think he did it. You know why? Because he's a Trump chasing, dick sucking bitch. And the way I see it, okay, two they two peas in the pie. They just alike, and just like the girls on Twitter been asking, where the fuck was you at on January 6th, bitch? Because I feel like you wasn't around like you was supposed to, you know. But, live your best life. Whatever works for you, Jerry shit. We don't care. At this point, I have made my clear stance on this whole thing. I say a lot, I do a lot. I talk a lot of shit, I have a lot of fun, I crack a lot of jokes. I may be a little bit going too far when it comes to said jokes. I can admit that. But one thing's about it and two things for sure. I gives people the respect that they deserve when they rightfully deserve it. And MVP is one of them. And I will tolerate no MVP slander on my page. Now, I might call him Pastor Porter, but that's my motherfucking business. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Okay? And I'm not talking about MVP the man. I'm talking about MVP the character. Two very separate things. Okay? Now, back to what I was alluding to earlier. Now, Chris Jericho, if this is true, let's say Chris Jericho made this phone call to John Laurinaitis and tried to bust MVP and get him fired. This is very interesting to me because he's been attacked WWE at every front. Every time he turn around, he's talking about the ratings, or he's talking about how much better AEW is than WWE. But yet, you are still in contact with Johnny Boy. Why? Why do you still have his contact information? Why are you still holding that? Why are you still keeping your ear very close to the streets? You want that ring, don't you, bitch? Don't worry. You'll be able to go back and get it as long as you go crawling back, apologize, suck a little dick, make a little people happy. You'll be able to get that ring, Jerry shit. Ain't nobody gonna take that from you. Because whether we love you or you hate you, you do have a legacy in WWE. And what you seem to forget is your legacy in WWE is what gave you all of this grandiosity stardom. Okay? So you can be in your feelings, Jerry shit, but the reality is your stardom came from WWE. That's just the reality of the situation. Now, I ain't trying to be in nobody's business, but y'all can comment in the comment section below. Let me know what y'all think about this and this whole mess that Jerry shit and fucking MVP are caught up in. Now, both sides are mum's the word as to what actually happened. Everybody's keeping their mouth shut. As Fightful said, there's two sides to every story, and somewhere in between that, in the middle, is the truth. And that's all we can do is speculate. Now, from my speculations of how Jericho has been acting of lately, which is on some bitch ass nigga shit, I thoroughly believe that the man called John Laurinaitis on MVP to try to get him fired. You got punked. MVP punked your ass, Jericho. That's what happened. And I think you got mad in your feelings and thought you had a little bit more power than you do. And you called John Laurinaitis like, hey, you need to come get your bitch before I check him. And he was like, no, you need to go back to your bitch. AEW is sinking, ho. That's what happened. You got punked out. But it's okay. Y'all comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this, because this is messy, honey. But I like this kind of mess because it ain't got nothing to do with nobody's in-ring capabilities or none of that. This is personal and all up in people's business, and that's just where I like to be. But like I said, y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think, y'all, because woo, it's a doozy. For once, it ain't the bitches fighting. It's the mensies. Girl.